Make sure I push all the buttons this time. I think we're going. Okay, I see us. We're live. We're doing it.
Woohoo!
I think it is working. Fairly certain. I never know for sure. All right, welcome to Star Wars Club. We have a smaller group today. Unfortunately, Doug and B were not able to join us at the very last minute, but we're here with Jane Smith. Hello, Jane.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. And Jenny Krantz. How are you doing, Jenny?
Hi. I am doing well. I'm recovering from this episode.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear what you think of it. Andy and Relia are in the chat. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
If you two, I had some weird technical issues today. If you guys don't mind confirming that everything looks and sounds okay, I'd appreciate that. All right, Axon Media, Justin is here. Sean is here. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. So good to see your tiny, tiny little faces. What's up, Adrian? Looks and sounds great. Okay, good. I wasn't able to monitor my voice, so I don't know what my voice sounds like, and it's making me... It's like walking into a room naked for an audio file. That's what it feels like.
Speaking of technical difficulties, my computer is now frozen, and I can't see the screen or myself or anything. So if you can still hear me, that's cool. I can't see anything right now. It's just frozen, but
we can see and hear you.
Yes.
Do you want to jump out and jump back in? Okay.
Yeah,
it's fine. Let's just go.
All right.
My computer's just it might kick in. Just not.
Yeah. you can always pull up the stream on YouTube and see it there.
That's what I was trying to do, and it's on YouTube, and it's just swirling on YouTube, but everything's frozen.
Oh no, everything's broken today.
Just one of those days. Everything is breaking. It's okay. It's
that's
fine.
All right.
Just like Mando's ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna dive into season 2, episode 2, The Passenger. But before we do, can we just acknowledge the fact that we lived through like the celebration of Endor yesterday? With like the destruction of the Death Star and people just flooding into the streets to party because Emperor Palpatine is dead.
Oh my! So good.
I kept all day I had that song in my head, like the music from that last scene. I just kept playing it in my head, and then I started seeing memes of it. So yeah, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, were you just like walking around singing "Yub Nub," "Eat Up Yub Nub" to yourself?
Well, you know what sucks is I realize I'm so used to the special editions. It's been so I don't actually own a copy. Our only copy of the original is an old VHS with commercials in it. So
whoa.
I had the new
Yeah, that's a great song too.
I do like the new music, but I had to Google to get the old Ewok song. The original.
Yeah, I feel like any kids who grew up on the special edition and then go back and watch the originals someday whenever Disney Plus decides to finally put out the original versions and they get to the end and there's like the Yub Chub Each Up Yub Nub song, they're gonna be like, what is this? This is bad. But for me, it's like vastly preferable.
So we grew up on.
Yeah, totally. Oh no, we got a frozen Jenny. Okay, she's back. There, okay, it's working. It's working.
Okay, yeah. You still hear us?
I can, yes. Well, can we hear Jenny?
We can see you. Your video's working.
I can see you, but I don't hear you. Oh, I see a mouth moving, but nothing's coming out of it.
Yeah. Maybe log out of Discord real quick and come back in. See if it helps. Of course, that broke mine, so I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't recommend it.
It's like all three of us had weird technical difficulties today. It's so weird.
Like at the last minute, I was logging in, everything was fine, and then nothing worked as it was supposed to.
It sounds like everyone in chat prefers Yub Nub. I agree.
Yeah.
There's like a disco version of that song out there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
Ewok dance.
how you doing, Jenny? Uh-oh.
Can't tell if she froze.
I think she's frozen. She froze on a very angry face.
Yep. She's gonna restart.
Okay.
She was messaged. Okay.
Wait
for you, Jenny.
Can I? Oops. What did I do? Wrong button. Okay, she's restarting. There we go.
Yesterday was a very hopeful day.
Yeah.
I was dancing around the house a lot. Just random moments of joy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't want to get too political, but I was very excited, and I like the outpouring of joy in the streets made me so happy. It was such a cool thing to live through. I was stoked about it. Okay, Jenny's texted that she's restarting. Yeah. What's that, Jane?
Did you have any people like in your neighborhood just banging pots and yelling? Throughout the day, we had people just like doing little mini parades up and down the street.
Yeah, nothing that I heard. I saw some people on Facebook talking about how like West Seattle was a party area. And a lot of people talking about how it was like the end of Return of the Jedi, which made me very happy.
Yeah. Well, it made me think of the last week's episode when they were showing the second Death Star blowing up in the pub.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking of that too. Well, should we jump into the episode and we'll get Jenny in here as soon as we can?
Okay.
Okay, Jane. Let me hear your review of episode 2, The Passenger. What did you think of this one?
I did like it. There was a lot of imminent peril at all times, but also spliced in with, Baby Yoda humor and a little bit of Amy Sedaris humor at the beginning with the Sabak who she was playing in the cantina. Not a big fan of spiders, so that was legitimately uncomfortable, which I think they were going for. I did find out later that her computer's still frozen. She's trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But
we'll
I found out later that the spiders were actually part of original concept art done by Ralph McQuarrie.
Really?
Krennic? I think I gotta look it up now.
Uh-oh. Did I lose Jane too?
No, I'm here.
Okay, your face is frozen.
Okay. Oh no!
Oh wait, no.
Oh my god!
Now it's moving.
We're having the worst time today.
You all can't leave me alone, all right? We got a 5-person Star Wars club, and I need at least one.
Oh, hold on! I gotta find out the name of these things because now it's bugging me. But yeah, so Dave Filoni pulled from original concept art for this. What the heck are they called? Chat, can you guys help me out? I know somebody in chat knows what they're called.
The name of the spiders?
The name of the spiders, the ice spiders.
They were in Clone Wars, I think.
It's bugging me. Yeah, they apparently were in Rebels, I think.
Rebels, that's right.
I haven't actually seen it, but
yeah, they were in Rebels. There was this thing where Ezra and
Krykna.
What's that?
Krykna is what they're called.
Krykna. Interesting.
Yeah, Krykna.
Krykna.
Yeah, they're ice spiders.
Yeah.
But they were originally thought up by the original concept art guy.
I'm the biggest fan of Ralph McQuarrie. I had a Ralph McQuarrie Star Wars calendar as a kid with all of his original designs. Nice. And like Star Trek Discovery, they designed the Discovery based off of his designs for an Enterprise for Star Trek Phase 2, which was a show that never happened back in the day. Like they were developing a sequel to the original Star Trek and it never came out, but they had this design and they kind of altered it to make the Discovery. So I'm a big fan of awesome. Pulling old designs from Ralph McQuarrie and using them. I think that's super cool.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So you like this episode?
Legitimately creepy.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, obviously, Murphy's Law is going to play heavily into their journey throughout the season, and just every time you think it's going to be a nice, simple little journey, something terrible is going to go wrong, and then it's going to like triple down on the wrong. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Other than it being, predominantly spiders, it was like being Ron Weasley in the second Harry Potter when they go into the forest,
Totally.
the Forbidden Forest.
Yeah.
And there's just like spiders everywhere. Why can't I remember anything today? Those have a name too.
Oh my god, I don't remember. From Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I remember Shelob, which is the name of the giant spider
That's
from Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Tarantacula?
Oh yeah.
Aragog was the name of the big one.
Aragog, that's right.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I got an internet, guys, because my brain is melted.
ABG.
Acromantula.
Acromantula. That's it.
Acromantula. All right, so yeah. Giant spiders are a big no. So I was not a fan of the moment when the big mommy dropped down on the Razor Crest. That sucked. But they were legitimately scary, so I was fine with that.
Yeah, let's catch up with chat real quick. Justin says the episode where we learn that Baby Yoda is an unfeeling monster.
He's all like, he's cognizant of the fact that they are her last eggs ever, and he's just like, I got the munchies, so
yeah. Justin says it's organic, it must be food, which is so like he's just marauding through the galaxy, eating everyone's babies. Like that's what this episode is about. Baby Yoda is now the bad guy. He's eating everyone's babies. He ate like Frog Lady's babies and the Spider babies.
Yeah.
Sean wants to know what we think of Frog Lady. Adrian likes Frog Lady. Justin likes Frog Lady. Nothing else but a mother holding her end of the deal while protecting her babies.
It was great.
Yeah.
And so that the person that acted Frog Lady apparently also acted inside the Queel suit.
Yeah, I read that.
And then the voice...
There's two of me!
We gotta... Maybe? We don't have video yet.
We got a Jenny coming back. I hear you.
I can hear you!
Oh my gosh. My computer just said, fuck you!
Oh, wait, no.
Oh no.
I don't have video of either of you now.
I had to turn my video off so we don't have two of me on the stream.
Boy. I'm all alone, floating in space.
I see you, Jane, for the first time. You're back.
Hi.
Done.
I can't see anyone
What
now.
is going on?
Let me see if I can give me back to you two. I can't see when I put me on. It's putting me on in the other stream
What
too.
if I'm gonna see? I've got my computer over here. Let's see if I can pull up the stream so I can at least see you guys.
I was trying to get it on my phone and download the app, and I can't remember my password and login information because I just have it saved on my computer.
Jenny, have you clicked the video button to join the video?
No.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, all right. I can see one person.
Okay, and I'm sorry for Jenny and Jane. I had to take my video off for you two. Let me see if I can put it back on now that... Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it. We got it. It's all working.
Oh my god.
It's all working. We're good.
I can see your background. Before it was just a... Okay, all right. We're good.
Good job, Jenny.
Except I don't know what's going on with my video, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, everything. I have like 20 tabs open like I always do. I think my computer is just like, no, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Tired.
You're cut off.
Sorry, what did I miss? What are we talking about?
We were talking about spiders and Frog Lady.
Jane really likes the episode. That's as far as we've gotten. We're talking about how Baby Yoda's a monster and he ate Frog Lady's babies.
He eats people's babies.
Why is he eating everyone's babies?
Unrepentantly.
I mean, he eats frogs, so it makes sense that this is like, it's like veal to him or something.
I guess. I mean, I guess...
No, it was a little disturbing.
I eat eggs almost every morning, so I guess I eat babies too. But it's not the
eggs are delicious.
They're not the last eggs. Like when I eat eggs, they're not the last eggs.
And they are very specifically unfertilized eggs. So if they don't make it to the husband, of Frog Lady, Mr. Frog, then they're not gonna be babies. So he's not really a monster yet, but he's cutting down the number of possible frog babies.
He's eating babies the same way if we're eating babies making an omelet.
Right. And then we also eat chicken. So we eat the babies and the parents. So we're the monsters.
True. It wasn't what I was expecting, though. Like, when he started walking towards the tank, I thought he was going to be all Baby Yoda and have, like, some connection, and they were all going to, like, draw towards him, and he was going to, like, I don't know. I was not expecting to put it in his mouth and eat it.
I know. Me too. I had the same thought.
It was a little disturbing. Like, they kept doing it.
I thought it was so disturbing. I really didn't like Baby Yoda not stopping eating the eggs throughout the whole episode. Because Frog Lady, like, we can't speak her language, and also Mando was kind of hiding it from her that Baby Yoda was eating these babies, and that whole plot point made me very uncomfortable. Baby Yoda is the cutest creature in the universe. I don't like Baby Yoda being the bad guy. You know, I don't like that. Makes me unhappy.
It was a weird episode all around. Like,
yeah. Andy says Andy and I watched it together. She says that I guessed it before it happened. I'm like, I said right before it happened, I'm like, if Baby Yoda walks over and eats those babies, I'm going to be so pissed.
But they're so tasty.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like there's just so much of it. I mean, for one thing, I think it's really funny. I don't know if you guys, like, I always keep the captions on. Just the fact that she's just literally called Frog Lady. Frog Lady speaking frog. Frog Lady speaking frog, like, were the captions, which I just thought was funny that that's just her Frog Lady. Frog Lady.
I do really appreciate that Star Wars has many different languages, and people don't just speak one universal language. I mean, there's some, like, common that people speak, but for the most part, Mando's just like, look, I speak Huttese, I
loved that.
Sand people. I don't speak frog. I just don't. So I don't understand what you're saying. And,
okay. This drove me crazy. When he said I don't speak frog, I'm like, a frog is a creature from Earth, you know? And like you're comparing this alien woman to a frog from Earth, and Earth doesn't even, as far as we know, doesn't even exist in the Star Wars galaxy. So I hate when they reference things from Earth in Star Wars. I've only really seen it before in Expanded Universe. Like, there was something in one of the Expanded Universe novels that was, like, a reference, like, a product or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you know how, like, some people refer to a pen as a Bic because it's, like, a Bic pen? Or even, like, a Bic shaver. Like, I'm going to, like, Bic my head. Yeah. That sounded gross for some reason. But yeah, Kleenex instead of tissue. There was something like that in one of the Expanded Universe novels, and I was like, fuck this book. This is dumb. But I had that moment.
It is weird.
Yeah, I had that moment during this episode.
And that's her official name. It's Frog Lady. Like, that is, again, according to the captions, it's Frog Lady, speaking frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what her name is in the credits. So it's...
Yeah. Oh, Jane, you were saying how the person who was on set acting as Frog Lady was on set as Queel. But something else that I read is that the person who did the voice of Frog Lady was D. Bradley Baker, who does the voice of all of the clone troopers in the cartoons, which I thought was
a nice,
pretty great
Venn diagram in that one character.
Yeah, so in a way, Boba Fett was kind of in this episode. Although, Sorry, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually didn't expect Boba Fett. I figured they were going to skip over that only because the recap from the previous kind of, gives you a hint. And the fact that they didn't show that last scene in the recap of Boba Fett watching them, I was like, okay, they're skipping that for now.
Yeah, I mean, what I really want is that Boba Fett is going to be chasing down Mando the whole season, trying to get his armor back. If that doesn't happen, I'll be mad. Like, that's what I really want.
Yeah, maybe with Someone
on TikTok had a theory that that Boba Fett was dressed up as one of the Tusken Raiders in the group, and that he was actually like hiding. Because if you notice, he has the bantha, I don't remember what he called it. It's like a toothpick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And someone had a theory that he was amongst them like the whole time, and he is actually been disguising himself.
I love that.
So I don't.
That
I
could
like
be.
that theory.
Yeah, because he had like the Tuscan staff on his back. It looked like it anyway. That could be. I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, maybe that's how he survived. Like after getting out of the Sarlacc pit, he kind of like integrated with with the Sand People clan and was kind of hiding in plain sight, and then
maybe Sand People aren't a race; they're a creed. Okay, let's check in the chat real quick. Does anyone else feel? Sean says, does anyone else feel bad about Razor Crest? That poor ship keeps taking a beating. And Adrian says, why is it the second episode of both seasons the Razor Crest gets trashed and beaten? Which is so true. Season 1 with the Jawas. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this episode was stressful. Like it really wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, tell us your review, Jenny.
I didn't love it when I watched. I mean, I thought it was cool. I thought it was so weird. Just the whole nature of this, like, just unexpected, which I kind of like the weirdness. Apparently, I did read that you do see Frog Lady in season 1. You can see her in certain shots of the cantina, so she's around. There's also a shot of her in the trailer walking with presumably her husband.
I think you and I saw the same TikTok today, because I saw that on TikTok today.
I put it out in a different thing.
Yeah. And like Dr. Mandible was also in season 1 in the cantina.
Right. And so that, like, little things like that. Also, learning, I did not remember, because we've talked about this, how our kind of in our previous Mandalorian episode with the Space Nerds, we kind of were all in agreement that our least favorite episode of last season was the like prison breakout episode, and apparently all the stuff with the X-Wings was heavily referencing that episode, which I missed because that was kind of the episode I paid the least attention to. It wasn't my favorite. So going back and learning more about that made me like this episode more, but when I was watching it, I just kind of felt, I was a little worried that there was another episode that the effects felt like, the visual effects, the world building, all that really cool, but didn't progress the story very much, in my opinion, and it just felt so like on its own separate thing, not as connected to anything. But the more, when I read into it and learned some of the Easter eggs that I missed, I started liking it more. But it was just stressful. Like, there was so much of the time I was literally just like, no, 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 no. And things just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And when they're sitting with a big hole blown out and it's freezing cold and I'm just like, oh,
the peril was real.
It was too much stress. And then the freaking, I can't even remember what you call them, but I assume they're the same creepy spider things that we see in Rebels. They look really similar.
They are, yeah.
They're called Krykna. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how to pronounce it, but I don't know.
I did like the callbacks from the Rebels that saved them after shooting up all the spiders, and they were like, "All right, you didn't shoot Dave or whatever his name was in the prison episode when you could have."
Right.
And he said you're decent for that, so we're not gonna turn you in. We're not gonna arrest you, but you're still on your own.
Yeah, I totally love that. I love that.
Shots with X-Wings in it is like my favorite day. I mean, seeing the X-Wings like flying, there's just, every time they come on, that brought me joy. That was the happiest part of the episode, just seeing the X-Wings come back.
Yeah.
And Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni was one of the pilots. That was great.
I didn't notice that. And the other guy was from Kim's Convenience. So Doug couldn't make it tonight, but he did say that he wanted to make sure that that's the one contribution he wanted to make, is that he was really excited to see Mr. Kim. Yeah. Jenny, I'm totally with you on this one. I felt uncomfortable the entire time of this episode. Well, not the entire time. The opening sequence is awesome. It's so good. Like, I assume they're bounty hunters trying to get the child in the beginning when they attack Mando on the speeder bike, and then Mando makes that deal to trade his jetpack and then like blast that guy up in the sky. That whole sequence was fantastic. I said last week you could do the whole show on Tatooine and I wouldn't care. I know some people are upset that there's so much Tatooine in The Mandalorian. I don't care. Yeah. Stay on Tatooine all day long. I don't mind. I love the whole beginning part. I always like to see the cantina, so all of that made me so happy. But as soon as we meet Frog Lady and the eggs and Baby Yoda trying to eat the eggs, I don't like that. That gives me a type of queasy, uncomfortable stress that I don't want from Baby Yoda. You know, like Baby Yoda is my happy place. I don't want that type of stress from Baby Yoda. And then it did become this like... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was interrupting.
So I love the Lost in Space movie from like 1998, which also had a ton of spiders in it, by the way. But then there's also the Lost in Space Netflix show, which I've come to appreciate, but it's like a ridiculous, like everything that can possibly go wrong goes wrong. And every episode, Andy and I were watching it, we're just like counting how many disasters are in it. And that's what this episode felt like to me. It's just disaster after disaster. And it was a side quest to begin with. Like, we're going on this side quest to find Mandalorians. And that all felt like really convenient to begin with, because Dr. Mandible just happens to have information about a Mandalorian covert. Very convenient. Yeah, it's very convenient in the beginning. So I didn't love that. I didn't like how they moved the plot forward in this episode. And then not only that, but like, we're going to slow way down. You have to go at sublight speeds. We're going to travel with this character that we don't know, that we can't even speak to deliver her eggs that Baby Yoda is eating. And I don't care about any of that story. You know, like, none of that is interesting to me. And then it gets way slowed down by crash landing and breaking the ship. And it's like, well, I've seen this so many times in so many shows, crash landing and having to break the ship. And I've also seen sci-fi/fantasy spiders more times than I can count. I mean, Harry Potter, that Lost in Space movie, Stargate SG-1.
They're universally scary, though, so that's why they keep getting used.
Yeah, and there was like a reference to the Alien franchise when Baby Yoda like opened up that spider pod. But this episode to me didn't really offer anything new to the Star Wars universe. It was rehashing a bunch of stuff we've seen before, or from other universes that, you know, I don't need another like spider attack of a million spiders attacking someone. I've seen that so many times. So the whole episode felt to me like a side quest that didn't need to be taken, and it didn't feel like it added to the story. And there was nothing new about new Mandalorians in it. There was nothing new about Boba Fett. It just, and like coming off of episode 1 from last week, this was like a screeching halt to the storytelling. And it's still like visually incredible, and it's still so Star Warsy, and I love that. And I did rewatch it, and it was better on a second viewing because all of that stress over Baby Yoda eating the eggs, or like the ship getting so broken, all that stress was better the second time. But
because you know how it resolves.
Exactly, but I didn't think it was a particularly well-written episode. I felt like it was really well-produced, but not necessarily well thought out or well-written from a storytelling perspective.
So it made me realize more than anything that Disney likes money, and that the show is so incredibly successful that they are going to milk it. So, like you said, the storytelling came to like a screeching halt, and they're like, okay, we are going to do side quests for a good chunk of this season before anything happens. So I'm expecting they're going to, you know, slow roll it for the next few episodes at least.
I feel like it might be an episode. I'm trying to keep my faith in them that we might enjoy more. Like, who knows? I kind of want to give them a chance because wherever the season goes, I just feel like they can't just be throwing these things on for no reason. I feel like it might make more sense as the story goes on. Like, sometimes that happens. I mean, I've mentioned this, you know, sometimes I like Marvel movies more after I see them after Infinity War. I go back than when I watched them on their own. And I think maybe as the season progresses, we might come back. But right now, I'm just having a hard time seeing how it's connected. Although, again, when I put together the connections to that Prison Break episode in season 1, I'm hoping that there's more to it than meets the eye, maybe. But I felt like it was a little bit like it was over, and I was like, I wanted more story. I wanted something new. I felt a little lacking, but
yeah. And I might be going out on a limb here, but I didn't love Frog Lady. It wasn't my favorite character. I mean, finding out that Frog Lady was in season 1 in the cantina made me feel like this whole episode was kind of built around saving some money. Because like they already had this character built, so they just wrote a whole episode around Frog Lady, which was just a background extra in season 1, and like reusing Dr. Mandible. I love Dr. Mandible, but he's also just like a giant bug. You know, he's not like a cool alien, and I like him as a background character because in the cantina in episode 4, like that was all about saving money, so they just used every mask that they had. Like there's a devil mask in there, and they just kind of reuse everything that they have and then make some new stuff as well. So I thought like having this giant bug in the cantina was kind of a cool throwback to the original Star Wars, but I don't need a whole episode built around like these background characters that aren't as evocative as, you know, someone like Ponda Baba or Evazan or something, where you get like one moment of them in the original trilogy and you just want more and more. This was like way more of characters that I didn't care about, particularly Frog Lady. It's like, her story's fine, but I don't feel any emotional connection to that character whatsoever.
I just thought it was weird, but I think it still has me curious because I'm just like, where are they going with this? Yeah. Like, I think I'm going to be mad if it is just such a standalone episode, and maybe she kind of but she's not. She ends up being, but if, I don't know, she's so weird. It's something so unexpected that I don't know, my brain is kind of thinking somehow if this is connected in a very weird but cool way to Boba Fett or Moff Gideon or the other storylines that we've going, I'm here for it, but yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing how that's going to happen. But I don't know. Again, I just can't.
I mean, we know she's at least briefly in another episode from the trailer, so there's got to be slightly more story or resolution, or 5 minutes of denouement with her where she meets her husband or something, whoever else that is that she walks away with. I did like the moment where they were fleeing from the Krykna, and she was like, all right, screw this bipedal thing. I hop. I am a frog. I am in peril. I'm going to get down on all fours, and I'm going to hop. I love that when sci-fi or fantasy characters are like, I'm going to embrace everything that I've got, and I'm not just going to walk around and pretend like I'm a human.
Yeah.
It was great.
I have to point this out. Sean in chat says, Tatooine, I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Oh my God.
And Adrian says, I can't wait for the episodes with Grief Karga and Cara Dune, which I agree with. 100%. Carl Weathers is going to direct an episode this season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're going to have a stew going.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm missing some of the old characters. I want them to kind of get on with it. Like, I was okay that the first, I loved the first episode, even though it didn't really connect to much of what we did in first season. But this one, I thought they'd give us a little more cookie crumbs or something, or just like something. I don't know.
The whole first season was so episodic, and every episode felt like a bit of a side quest. But they peppered in, Baby Yoda's force powers, or information about the fall of the Empire, and all of that is just so good. And the first episode of this season is a side quest. Like, killing a crate dragon does not help us find Mandalorians, but it does help us get Boba Fett's armor. Yeah. But it was just so good. It was so awesome. And the new character, the Marshal, was one of the best characters that they've done on the show, where he was fully realized. And and this episode
we'll see him later.
I hope so. And episode 2 just did not go that far. It was just, it really felt like filler. But I have no doubt that, I have no doubt that episode 3 is going to be awesome. I do not for a second think that this means that the show is like jumping the shark or something, because there was episodes in season 1 that were a little slower and had a little less going on. But then the next episode, there'd be so much that happens and it would be incredible. So this show ebbs and flows, and I appreciate that. But for my money, this was the deepest ebb. Like, this was the lowest entertainment value of the series thus far for me.
Well, that's one of the great things about TV, is that they can take their time. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a movie where they have to cram. Every moment has to forward the plot. It's TV. They can meander a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just striking that
And
balance.
a bad day on this show is still better than a lot of things on TV. Like
Absolutely.
I didn't hate the episode.
Yeah.
Like, I was still entertained. I still was finding little things. Oh, did you know? You probably saw this on the same things that I saw, but that the ice planet where they crash is also supposed to be the same planet that we first meet him in the very first episode, where he picks up his bounty. Yeah, that is the same planet.
With the walrus, the giant space walrus?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
So that
but
was another thing.
Why are we going to the same planets over and over? You know, like, it's such a big galaxy. And also, like, if we're traveling sublight, like, we're going light years between planets. So
I know, like,
I'm pretty sure that a year.
Has to be in the same system.
I think a year passed. I think there was a year between the first and like the beginning of the episode, and I think Frog Lady and Mando were on that ship together for like a good solid year.
Yeah.
What's up? Hey, look, another Jesse M. I'm Jesse M as well. Welcome. What's up? Oh, and guys in chat, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. I always appreciate that. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
My brain. So the Amy Sedaris character mentioned when she introduced Frog Lady, she said she needs to get to her husband to fertilize these eggs before whatever season. So it's like they have a very set deadline that they're on, and then she also says, but you can't go light speed.
Right.
So those two things immediately were jarring in my mind. I was like, there's no way that this is physically possible. But
yeah, because he
said under
the
the rug, and they went on pretty quickly.
He said, I don't want to go sublight, you know, so that means like sublight speed, and like planets are light years apart, you know, that like that's just, I guess, you know, it's Star Wars. Those planets could be like. I'm
just thinking that Tatooine is in a very big system. If somebody knows differently, if there's a star chart out there that I'm not aware of, and there's not like 20 other planets in this system, then let me know. Because that's the only way that I'm seeing this working.
Yeah, it's so weird. Tatooine is first described to us. You know, if there's bright center of the universe, you're on a planet that it's furthest from. Like, Tatooine's supposed to be like way out.
It's in the outer rim. It's like way far away from anything else. Yeah, totally.
Everyone seems to it seems to be near a lot of stuff.
Then they would be spending years on the Razor Crest.
Yeah,
more than their lifetimes.
Yeah, that's why hyperspace exists in these stories, so that we can jump from planet to planet and not, you know, spend.
Like Baby Yoda would be old. He'd be like going all blue glowy by the time they arrive.
He's like, this took so long. I'm a damn Force ghost already. I'm all sparkly glowy.
Like, I almost thought maybe there's some connection between, since Frog Lady is kind of like Yoda's a vaguely amphibian looking creature.
Sure.
Like, that was one thing I was wondering, is maybe this is somehow going to connect to finding Yoda's family, his home planet, his species, because they're in a similar, I don't know, again, both kind of amphibian like. That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe I'm just like, why is Frog Lady here? I want to know, and I feel like I trust the producers and the people writing the show that it's gotta connect. It's gotta. I'm hoping I'll just be surprised, and then I'll go back and look at this episode and be like, oh, okay, and I will enjoy it more than I did.
Yeah, I hope so. My feeling is that they needed a way to get Mando heading towards the next Mandalorian coven, or covert.
Yeah. Covert.
Not coven, covert. Yeah. And the best thing they came up with was, we have this Frog Lady outfit that we made for season 1. What if she's transporting her eggs, and that's how we get him from this planet to the next one? You know, it's like, I have a feeling that she's going to say goodbye in the beginning of the next episode, and then Mando's going to go on some new quest, and we'll never see her again. That's my prediction.
Oh, I hope not. I'm going to be real. This will be a dumb episode if that. Well, not again. I hate saying that. I feel like I'm talking about my best friend badly. Like, I still love the Mandalorian. They can have their. I still love them. They can have their downtimes, but
absolutely, they can absolutely have a less than stellar episode. We just came off of the best
it's fun.
episode yet. Like, I think episode 1 of the
I'm not
season might be
promoting
the
it.
best episode yet. Well, I don't know. The finale of last season was pretty damn good. It's one of the best shows on TV, and they can totally have a bad week. And it wasn't even that bad. It was just
I wouldn't even say it was bad. It was just compared to the previous one, which was like, 11 out of 10, they had to dial it back down to like an 8.
Yeah. Sean says, I would love an episode of The Mandalorian that deals with Darth Maul's race. And then other Jesse M says they have a show called, they have in a show called Rebels. They also do in the Clone Wars. Like, they have a whole thing about Darth Maul's race in the Clone Wars. And like the females of his species, and they go really in depth with it, actually. And there's a lot of it that's really cool. And Clancy,
I just started watching Clone Wars again. I'm well, the second time I've tried watching it. I haven't been able to, but I'm on like episode 5 of the first season. So
it took me, so I watched like the first 3 seasons years ago, and I got so bored and I quit. And then I recently came back to it, and it's starting to get really good. Like, seriously really good. It, like, towards the end of season 4, I'm getting like really hooked. It's still, but Clone Wars is like really what's the word, inconsistent. So like, this episode of Mandalorian is very similar to the sort of like less interesting episodes of Clone Wars, where you find yourself on some random planet doing some random thing with some random person that you don't care about, that you never see again. There's a lot of that in the Clone Wars cartoons, and Dave Filoni made both. He's involved with both. So I think that there's like this is just like a stylistic choice, this propensity to meet random people in the galaxy and never see them again. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay.
Yeah. No, I think it like I thought it might. It does help that I've done all of Rebels, and I really loved Rebels so much. So even though I still find myself when I'm watching Clone Wars, like Mandalorian, I am sitting down, phone off, watching. Clone Wars, I'm still kind of like, I'll go to the bathroom, not pause it. I'll kind of be working on painting stuff. Like, I have a hard time just like fully focusing on it. But I am, now that I've seen Rebels, like the last episode I just watched, you see like Rex and, getting more, and I'm like, oh, I know that guy. Like, I know him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like hooking, because, and I'm very interested in Ahsoka Tano now, and all, just from watching. So I like that I went backwards. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get through it.
Yeah, like we're going to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano in Mandalorian season 2. Like, it's going to be awesome. Like, I have no doubt it's going to be awesome.
Sabine is going to be in Mandalorian, right?
Is she?
Sabine? I think so. That's another thing I think I saw on TikTok, but also because, I don't want to give you spoils because you haven't finished Rebels.
I'm only halfway through Rebels. And also, Jane, you should watch Rebels.
I know.
It's actually really, really, really good. And season 1 is just like a fun kids show. Season 2 just hits the ground running, and it's like deep, emotional Star Wars storytelling, and it's kind of shocking.
Don't even know.
I don't. I'm halfway through season 3. And yeah, Clone Wars, like season 4, I think, of Clone Wars had some like really good episodes. And I'm like you, Jenny, where I'll be like doing other things watching Clone Wars, but sometimes an episode will come on and I don't even realize I'm just like hooked and like into it. But I actually, like, these days I love playing video games while watching TV. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, I don't want to just play games or just watch TV. I want to do both at the same time. And I don't want to have a game or a TV show that either require 100% of my attention. I want to have like Asphalt Legends, where I'm just racing and it's kind of casual, or like Warframe's good for that, or Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, something that I'm not like playing through a story like Bastion, where I'm super focused, or a TV show like Mandalorian. I'm so focused. I every second I'm just soaking it in, because it's like more of my favorite type of Star Wars, and I love it. But then I also watch, Love Island, and I don't care about what's happening most of the time, but every once in a while, something super dramatic will happen, and I'll be like, oh, damn. But, I'll play my video game while I'm watching that. And Clone Wars is definitely like a play a game while you're watching type of show. And that's okay. And I like that. I like having that in my life these days.
The first season of Rebels was like that, too. Like, I barely remember the first, because I was having the same problem. The first couple episodes of Rebels, I was like, it's enjoyable, but I just kind of couldn't get into it. And I don't know. We're all so ADD these days. There's a lot of, like, I just put on stuff and then I work on my little painting stuff, or I'm flipping around on my phone. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm trying to pay attention because I don't know. I'm really excited about the Star Wars universe right now, and I feel like for a while I was a little behind in it because I was such a I don't know. I feel like I'm stubborn. Like we've talked like I am an original trilogy, the three. That is my fandom, my expertise, and I wasn't really embracing a lot of the newer canon. I like the Legends. I liked my Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like I'm catching up a little bit, and especially with the Mandalorian because it's reaching out into all these like I feel like I need to like. I don't know. That's why I want to watch Clone Wars, and I'm finally like reading some of the books that are in the new canon, and now I'm kind of excited. So I do want to pay attention a little more and watch these things because I don't know. I'm getting more excited about the world, but.
Yeah, I mean, prequels broke me for Star Wars. Like I was so in, and then the prequels came out, and I was so confused. I was like, I don't know how to feel, and I canceled my subscription to Star Wars Insider and kind of walked away because and even like the Clone Wars cartoons for years, I just did not care. I didn't want more prequel stories, but I've loved since Disney bought Star Wars. I've loved everything. You know, I think Solo's fun. I like it. I mean, Rogue One is incredible. I like all like 7, 8, and 9. I like all three, and a lot of people don't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I like it all, and I really like how they have bridged the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy in a way that I think is really effective. And now when I go back and watch Clone Wars, I can see that that's what that show is. It's like bridging Star Wars together and kind of like, I mean, episodes 1, 2, and 3 are just like so weird, and so they look weird, and it's just
Outlandish,
like being inside of video game Star Wars instead of real Star Wars. But then the Clone Wars are like really trying to make the prequels relevant, and at first it pissed me off because I'm like, they're not. But then I came around eventually. I'm like, you know what, I do like the story of the rise of Palpatine. I'm like into that, and I appreciate that Dave Filoni is trying to make the prequels more relevant to the canon as a whole, but then building it into the Star Wars that I love. And I think that he's done a really good job with that. And like Solo being kind of in between and getting to see the birth of the Rebel Alliance, and like the death of the old Galactic Republics, like something that's kind of in between. It's just such a rich universe, and they've really pulled me back in to the point where I'm just kind of really stoked about it all the time.
Okay, you're not going to believe this, but I went back. I watched Phantom Menace this week.
Wow.
And Attack of the Clones. I don't think I've seen the Phantom Menace since our podcast about it. Like, was that 5 years ago?
Oh my God! Wow.
Because I'm. I mean, again, I will never love the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I will never love it. It's still like just like moments where I still just want to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
And then Attack of the Clones, like the entire love story between Padme and Anakin, it just makes me want to like drill a hole in my head.
It's the most cringeworthy love story of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. I can't do it. It makes me so mad.
They had to force it every moment those two were together.
Yeah.
I'm creepy and wrong.
I like about it, like Attack of the Clones, I found I really love the Obi-Wan going to Kamino and that whole like cloning center on Kamino and those creatures who I just saw in Clone Wars. They just finished an episode where they're in there. So it's all like, I don't know. I'm giving it a chance, and because I feel like this story is going to be enriched by some of the new stuff that I'm reading. There's still parts of Phantom Menace and Clone Wars or Attack of the Clones that I can't stand. But I was trying to do like a full marathon and just go do a from start to finish. So I watched because Clone Wars does take in between Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm doing this right. Yeah. So I watched Attack of the Clones. I'm watching Clone Wars. I watched Revenge of the Sith. Well, I skipped ahead and I watched Rogue One this week too, though, because I was so all of a sudden out of nowhere I was like, I need Rogue One. I just felt like I don't know if it was like the election or what was going on. I was just like, I need to cry in a Star Wars, and I did, and I cried watching that. Her speech. She's like, rebellions are built on hope. And I'm thinking,
it ends on a good note. Like, it ends with they got it. We're going to make it, guys. It's okay.
I love that movie so much. And I love that whole scene again with her. Like, I was just like, and even when Princess Leia came out, digital CGI Princess Leia, and she's like, hope. I was just like, oh, I don't know if it was just the timing of it, but I mean, I've always loved that movie, but it's been a minute since I'd seen it, and it was just the perfect time to watch it, and I just fucking love it so much. It's so beautiful.
It's so good. Definitely one of the best Star Wars movies.
I had to skip ahead to that one. And and it's better. I don't know if you're at this place in Rebels. It's not a big spoiler. I don't think I'm giving you. I think you already saw him, but Saw Gerrera
in Rebels.
Make an appearance.
I did know that. Yeah. Well, I mean,
so that's not a big.
The ship in Rebels. I'm blanking right now.
The Ghost.
The Ghost. Yeah, the Ghost is in Rogue One and in Rise of Skywalker.
Dang, I missed it in Rogue One. I forgot to look for it. But Saw Gerrera, again, this is where this universe is just getting so much fun, because now watching Rogue One after seeing Rebels and learning more about Saw makes Rogue One even better and more interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love what they're doing. I love despite, I know a lot of people are mad about some of the stuff Disney is doing, but fuck them. I don't care. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I hate this whole, let's be so mad about this one thing we didn't like, but then let's celebrate Rogue One because it's incredible, not realizing that Disney also made Rogue One, Like Kathleen Kennedy has been behind all of this. And if you love Mandalorian, then you owe her a debt of gratitude because she's in charge. So fans are fickle, and even we are fickle. We didn't like this week's episode of Mandalorian as much.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, Jane liked it the most, I think.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Except, she liked it too. Here's what you would say about it too.
Yeah, but it's interesting that if we didn't like the most recent episode, I think that I'm seeing this a lot online of people being like, "Oh, I'm over the Mandalorian. I'm done with it," and that makes me so mad because it's you didn't like this one episode, but
They can all be 11 or it gets stale.
Right.
You have to have moments of rest in the story before it gets crazy and there's great dragons again. Give it
totally. Yeah, just relax. Ahsoka Tano's going to be there. It'll be fine.
I know, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Sean says the female wrestlers Sasha Banks was in the promo for season 2 in a black cloak. Any guesses on who or what she is going? You say Sith. Okay, I got to tell you guys, I haven't watched any trailers. I haven't seen a single trailer for Mandalorian season 2. I'm going to watch this show, and I don't want to know a single thing about what's coming. And I've seen a couple clips of trailers, on TikTok or something, so I know there's something with a boat. And I saw that clip of Frog Lady.
We've seen most of what's in the season 2 trailer.
Okay, so maybe I can watch it now.
At this point. You can probably watch it now. There's not a whole lot left in it that we haven't seen.
Who's the actor that he said?
Sasha Banks. I don't actually know who that is. Let me look this up. Sasha Banks.
But Black Cloak is probably...
Oh yeah, wrestler.
Probably Sith? Or maybe they're just trying to mess with us. I don't know. It's just a mind fuck. They're like, oh, she's wearing black. She's clearly Sith. But don't Jedi usually wear brown?
I really want to see Wednesday again too.
Oh, I'd love that.
I love her so much.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be so happy she comes back. I love her.
I feel a little bit bad that Disney owns her 100%. Did anyone watch the new Mulan movie?
I did, yeah.
The only good thing about that movie was her cameo.
I heard it was great.
I mean,
I was happy to see her cameo.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but she was the voice of the original Mulan, which I didn't even know.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's badass.
Disney has, they call it, because Disney Princess, Marvel, and Star Wars.
Yeah, she's in all the things.
Yeah.
I love her Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. She's probably she might be one of my favorite characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I gave up on that show after season 4, I think. I heard it got really good in season 5 though.
I didn't watch the end of it either.
Oh, I watched it all the way through. I haven't seen the very last season only because I don't think it's on Netflix yet. I was invested. I did not like, I guess, the second to last season at all. It did go. Was season 4? I think season 4 was that with Hive or the Framework?
Yeah, I was so sick of Hive. I was like, I can't.
Hive. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Can we just get rid of Grant Ward already? I mean,
seriously?
How many times are we gonna kill this man before we're done with him? So annoyed.
Is he dead?
He comes back another time? Are you kidding me?
Oh my god! Oh,
I'm so glad I
mean,
never
I
saw that.
know it's a comic book, and no one ever really dies in a comic book. But come on.
No, I liked it.
Okay.
And I never, because I was feeling the same. It was almost a joke. He's like Loki at this point. Like he just keeps coming back, and you're like,
Yeah.
but I would recommend if you feel so inclined and you have time. So the season that I think I'm getting, I just rewatched the whole series. I loved that show way more than I thought it would once I got into it. So
Really
after the Hive, they go into the framework, which is this like whole virtual reality
Ooh.
world.
Yeah.
So
I did see
there
some
is
of those.
so it's an alternative reality where I don't know if I want to spoil it, but just they're all kind of the characters are doing the opposite of like
Okay.
good guys are bad guys and bad guys are good guys. So Grant Ward comes back, but I thought it was in a really cool way. It's just a side role. He's not like a major
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I really liked it.
And it's VR, so like, is
Yeah.
it really alive?
That's acceptable. I loved season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Firefly is one of my favorite shows. Jane and I covered all of Firefly on the Space Nerds podcast, if anyone else is a Firefly fan. Or just a Jane fan. So I felt like season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they're they're on this plane all the time, and it kind of reminded me of Serenity. And it just like had that family vibe, but also the cool action adventure. Like that moment where the car falls out of the sky was one of the coolest things I'd seen all year. Yeah. But then season 2 just got so unrelentingly grim and dark, and I just found it to be obnoxiously boring. Everyone was upset all the time. There was no more sense of family or joy, and they just got rid of everything I liked about the show. And I hung on at least through season 3, because I think Hive was season 3, right? Or maybe 4?
I kind of got seasons mixed up. Did you see the one with Ghost Rider?
Yeah,
no.
Ghost Rider, and then the other planet where...
So I gave up... I saw the other planet one. That was a good episode. I know which one you're talking about, Jane. Like the... Yeah. You made me watch that, and I really liked it.
It was good. Okay, so that was the episode that got me in after the first time I quit S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Like, my problem with the entire series was that I didn't like who they were trying to make the main character. Skye/Daisy.
Yeah.
Can't stand her. So anytime her story was going on, I was just like, I'm checking out. I'm only halfway paying attention. I don't really care what's going on with her.
Sean wants to know, are any of us watching the last season of Supernatural? I have never seen Supernatural.
I can't believe they're actually ending it. I am surprised that it's coming to an actual conclusion.
Is it like season 14 or 15 or something?
It's at least. It's 13 or more.
Wow.
But
I've never seen Supernatural. What's it on? What platform?
It was
and is it DC
CW?
or
I think it's CW, yeah.
It was,
yeah, Justin with the two brothers, yeah. It's Jensen Ackles.
5 seasons. It's not based on comics or... Well, I don't think so. I don't think it's based on anything. But it's definitely not DC or Marvel. But the first 5 seasons are golden. And then the creator left. And he was like, I'm not doing anything after 5. This is my vision for the show. And I want it to come to a conclusion. But it was one of their biggest hits, the network, and they loved it. And so like, okay, well, we're going to keep it. And we're just going to keep doing it without you. And the actors stayed on. And after that, they had some interesting moments. But it just got really tired and recycled. Like they kept doing the same formula over and over and over again. And it was like,
wow. Okay, Sean says season 15 is what's airing now. And Jesse says it's an adult Scooby-Doo.
Oh, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I heard about it when it started because I was watching Smallville back then, and Jensen Ackles was on season 4 of Smallville.
Yeah.
And I just thought he was really hot. And I'm like, well, maybe I'd watch this other show. But I never did.
You know, I am definitely Team Dean now, for anyone who watches Supernatural. But when I first started, I was totally Team Sam because Gilmore Girls, he was the boyfriend of Rory in that show. And I was like, oh, wow. I know him. Jared Padalecki.
I never watched Gilmore Girls, but Andy watched through it recently, and every time I'd walk through the room and it was on, I was like, oh my god, it's that person? Oh my god, it's that person? Like, Milo Ventimiglia is on this show? There's just
a lot of people were in it.
So many people.
Melissa McCarthy before she blew up in comedy. Yeah.
I had no idea that Melissa McCarthy was on that show. I still am not going to watch it.
Well,
yeah.
I love the early seasons. That's another one that I gave up on. God, I'm just like such a TV quitter.
Yeah, you know, I used to.
I couldn't make it to the end of Gilmore Girls.
I used to finish every show I started, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually a turning point in my life where I'm like, you know what? There's so much on TV. If I'm not enjoying this, I don't have to watch it.
Other good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Like, I watched all of Heroes. I watched every episode of Heroes. That's the type of person I used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not anymore. Now I'm like quitting shit left and right. I'm like, if I'm not loving this, I'm out, you know?
There's too much content to absorb.
Just absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah. It's because I've just been on such a Marvel kick, and I love the way that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tied into the movies a lot. I don't know. I was in it. I fell in love with the characters. Mac's like one of my favorite freaking characters in the Marvel universe. I liked Daisy. I love Bill Colson. Yeah. Like Ming-Na Wen's character. I don't know.
So good. And Fitzsimmons. Love him.
Oh, yeah, Fitzsimmons. Like, I went back and watched the whole thing over again. But the last 2 seasons, like, yeah, they go to this like Kree planet after the world is destroyed, and everything is so dark and grim and depressing that it was hard for me to get through. But I was so dedicated, and I love these characters so much that it was kind of maybe like you watching Heroes. I don't know. I was just like, I'm seeing this through. Like, I'm in it.
I did hear they went to space.
Right, that I'm probably, and I watched the whole series twice. Maybe I should. What's a new show? Should I watch Supernatural?
You should watch Better Call Saul. It's fantastic. It's so good. I did
watch all of Breaking Bad. So
if you watch Breaking Bad, you have to watch Better Call Saul. It's so good. It's so good. Actually, Sean brings up a good one. Anyone watch or like Doctor Who? Absolutely love Doctor Who. I love it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes of Doctor Who. I liked Doctor Who. There was one episode that gave me nightmares, and now I can't remember. I think it was something with demonic something or other, and I kind of tapped out.
Was it the angels?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that episode is so creepy.
They're legit scary.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, wait. Hang on.
What's scarier, the weeping angels or the spiders from Mandalorian?
That's what that's called. But I have issues with.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That's it. That episode's called "Don't Blink." Season 10. No, what am I saying? 10th Doctor's first season.
10th Doctor. It's David Tennant, and it's got Carey Mulligan in it. She's been in all kinds of stuff now too, but I don't remember what season that is.
Really. Have you guys watched Orphan Black?
3 or 4, I think.
Ooh, that's a good one. I just powered through all 5 seasons of Orphan Black in like 2 weeks. I loved Orphan Black. I feel like you might like it. It's sci-fi. It's sci-fi and cloning.
I've heard good things about it.
Tatiana Nicely, or I'm pronouncing right. She is phenomenal. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews of the show. I don't know if everyone I loved it. Like, well, she's just so impressive.
Something else.
She might be playing She-Hulk in the new Disney Plus show.
That's the whole reason I started watching the show.
Oh, really?
She was playing She-Hulk, and so I had to watch it because I wanted to see who was going to be She-Hulk, and I hadn't heard of her. I literally started watching Orphan Black because I listened to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. It's all about the Marvel, and they mentioned it. But then their most recent episode, I guess I haven't confirmed this, but they said that the actress herself, sent out a tweet or something and said, no, that's not correct, that she's not playing it. Oh.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. After I see Orphan Black, I want her to be phenomenal as She-Hulk, I think.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
You know what I've been watching is the Classic Tetris World Championships. It's my favorite sporting event of the year. It's so fun to watch. It's so good. Well, you can tell how good of a Star Wars episode this was because we didn't talk about it all that much.
It was pretty good. There were moments that reminded me of Firefly.
I was gonna say that. Thank you for reminding me.
When the X-wings were chasing the Razor Crest through the ice
clouds.
canyons, I
Yes.
was all like, "Oh, this is amazing." Wash pulling some crazy maneuvers in the body.
It made me realize.
One.
Oh yeah, the message.
The message.
Yeah.
The body.
The one where they have the body. Yeah.
Thing. You know, Buffy's mom. But. So yeah, I was like, why are they chasing him through this canyon when we've already seen that all you have to do is just hover above the canyon and look down at where he is.
Right.
You don't have to actually fly through and chase him.
Right.
and then like when the Razor Crest breaks down, it falls and it's just like completely busted up. I was like, oh, this reminds me of Mal just walking through and having flashbacks, but there were no flashbacks.
And out of gas.
Maybe that's what I should watch. I've never seen Firefly.
Watch Firefly, Jenny. Watch Firefly. Yeah. Oh my God, it's one of the best shows ever.
I've been told multiple times to watch it that I would love it. So yeah, maybe that's what I'll do next.
You got to give it at least. It's on Hulu.
I don't think it's on anything anymore, is it?
I think it's still on Hulu, isn't it? I'm not sure.
I have Amazon Prime and I have Netflix. I'm sure I can find it somewhere, but
yeah.
Give it at least 4 episodes because that's how it. By episode 4, I'm like, yep, this is the best show ever. Also, if you haven't watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, that's my favorite show ever. The first 2 seasons are weird as shit, but it gets so good.
I did watch a couple episodes of Next Generation because remember when I volunteered at Mopop?
Oh yeah.
For like a year, and they had that awesome Star Trek exhibit, and so every week I volunteered to spend an hour in the exhibit.
I was in that exhibit.
So for the first. Wait, what?
So they had on the upstairs.
A testimonial.
On the upstairs, they had that like audio thing. I was interviewed for that.
Oh yeah.
And then
I think I saw you.
And they liked me, and the person who was going to host the opening party for that exhibit bailed, so they asked me to do it, and I ended up hosting that.
You were MC, were you?
Yeah, I MC'd the opening party. Because I had MC'd the closing party for the Star Wars exhibit. Like, being a nerd can help you go places in this town.
I saw that Star Wars exhibit, too. That exhibit was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I miss that music. It was so fun. And I was like, they're Marvel. It's so cool. But so I did the Star Trek exhibit, and that was the first time I finally, I watched a couple episodes of Next Generation. I watched, I think, the first and second episode of the William Shatner, like the
original series. Yeah.
And then I watched almost the entire season of, God, now it's been a long time. The one with the female
Voyager.
Captain,
Voyager.
Voyager, yeah. I watched Voyager.
That reminds me.
Kate Mulgrew is reprising her role in
for a cartoon for Star Trek Prodigy for Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm sure no one else here is watching Star Trek Discovery on CBS All Access, but season 1 of that show was the worst season of any Star Trek I've ever seen, and I've seen them all. But it's getting really good.
I thought it was...
The latest episode was awesome. It was beautiful, and everyone should go watch Discovery. That's Picard.
Patrick Stewart came back.
Yeah, for Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. It was weird. I liked it. But yeah, Discovery, man, the newest episode was beautiful. Like all 3 episodes of season 3 so far have been fantastic. And this was the first time because Mandalorian came back, having Star Wars on TV and Star Trek on TV. Generally, the Mandalorian's been better than Discovery, but this was the first week where I was like, you know what? I think Star Trek wins this week. The new Discovery was better than the new Mandalorian. Last week, though, Crate Dragon, that won. That was...
There's no beating that.
Yeah, there's no beating that.
It was one of the best episodes of TV ever.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. Oh my God, I gotta say one more thing about this episode is that I got a little uncomfortable seeing Frog Lady naked in the pond, in the hot spring.
She's a mom.
Yeah, that was another awkward moment for me. She's floating around with her eggs in the I don't know.
It felt weird. But then she uses her tongue to grab her clothes. Because when she was getting out, I was like, are we going to see Frog Lady naked? But then she uses her tongue to grab her robes. I also just remembered that it's now confirmed that Mando and Baby Yoda sleep in the same little compartment together.
They're the same little bunk.
And I love that. I love that.
That was a really cute way to end it with Baby
Yeah.
Yoda just like snuggling.
Oh, yeah. It's so
That was
cute. This is the first episode that ever made me have bad feelings about Baby Yoda, though, when he was eating the eggs. And I don't want that to ever happen again.
Well, we know
Yeah.
that he might be an omnivore, but maybe he has to eat meat. Maybe he's like cats. Maybe he's an obligate carnivore and he can't help it. He's got to eat babies.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, we frogs. And
Yeah.
somehow that didn't gross me out. The frog in his mouth, for some reason, was not disturbing to me. I
With
thought
like
that was
the
funny.
legs kicking,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, and the little kid's like, ah, like, and he just like spits it out, like, oh, sorry, did I do something bad? But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was expecting him to have some like weird connection with the eggs or something, or feel protective. I don't know. That was not. It was kind of funny. It gave me a chuckle every time he did it, but it was also uncomfortable. It was weird.
I didn't love it.
I don't know.
Well, how would we rate this
Yeah.
episode? I'm curious. What do you think, Jane? Jane liked it the best of all of us.
I did like it. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely room to grow, though. So maybe like a 7.5.
Okay,
Going
that's
out
pretty
of a
good.
scale
Out of
of
10?
10?
Yeah, 7.5.
It was
What about-
good. It was good, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah. What about you, Jenny?
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 7, only because I feel weird rating a Mandalorian episode any lower than that, because like, I still think it's better than
Pretty good.
a lot of things, and I'm holding hope. I'm giving it a 7, thinking that I will appreciate it more in hindsight. Like I think they're gonna connect things to where I'm gonna like it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may change that if it doesn't.
Jesse in chat gives it a 6. I'm rating this on the scale of Mandalorian episodes, like obviously Mandalorian is better than most other shows on TV, but as far as like this show goes, this was probably my new least favorite episode. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
It just
Harsh.
didn't have anything new or interesting or unique or all that creative. It's just like rehashing a bunch of stuff we've seen before, either from Star Wars or other sci-fi franchises. It didn't move the plot forward. It had a lot of cool eye candy, and I loved the opening scene. Opening scene for me gets like an 8 out of 10, but the episode as a whole, it just didn't go anywhere, and it kind of bummed me out. Just seeing the Razor
I feel
Crest
like it
get
had
destroyed.
Kind of an out of gas vibe. So.
Oh, interesting. Well, my favorite episode of Firefly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It
yeah,
had moments of out of gas.
yeah, it
appreciate
absolutely had good moments. But like looking at this show, this was definitely down there for me. I still enjoyed it. I still liked it. I watched it twice, and I'm still super stoked about next week.
Yeah, I think it's just because the previous one was such a high bar that it feels like, in comparison, because it came right on the heels of the most amazing episode, it falls a little bit more flat, only because of where it's placed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the whole show is such a high bar. Like there wasn't a single episode I didn't like in the first season. Again, I kind of thought maybe like the Prison Break was our least favorite, and even that, like,
It's still good.
I thought that one was better than
Good.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's such a high bar that I'm not mad about it. I'm not gonna go on, on like Facebook and bash it. It's just
Yeah.
it's okay. It can have a bad day.
Totally.
Fine. They're allowed. They're allowed.
It was not the type of bad that made me mad at the show. It's not like this is so bad. What are they doing? It was just like, oh, I see what they're going for here, and I don't care for it as much. But they're giving me so much that I love that's okay.
You know what? Like, I mean, I kind of maybe they're taking risks. You could argue. I don't know. Again, it was so weird, and it felt like it might just be lazy, and they're just using Frog Lady because whatever. But again, depending on where the season goes, it might just be a real weird thing they were experimenting with. I don't know. I love it so much that I'm just trying to defend it.
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
Mando and
it was-
Frog Lady
it was-
fall in love, and this is the beginning of their love story.
She cheats on her husband, and her eggs don't get fertilized. Oh, terrible ending.
And their child eats her eggs.
What kind of forbidden love is that? Oh, it's no
Yeah,
good.
it's
Everybody
no good.
loses.
Yeah. Well, same time next week, y'all. 6:30 for episode 3. Hopefully, Doug and B will be able to join us next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone here that is not aware, I moved all my gaming stuff onto a new channel. So if you just search for Jesse Mercury Gaming, you'll find it. Trying to keep it just sci-fi on this channel. I felt like I was confusing people with my content, so I've split them up. Any parting thoughts for our nerdy friends out there?
I'm excited for next week.
Yeah,
Cara
me too.
Dune, back. We better get Boba or Cara Dune, or I want a character from season 1. I'm hoping in the next episode. We're overdue. I feel like.
Yeah, besides Amy Sedaris.
Besides the mechanic, she's been in the show 3 times now, so it's time for someone else to come back and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her, but she's not my favorite. She's fun.
Yeah.
But I was happy to see her again in episode 1, and then in episode 2, I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. You know.
Yeah, I feel like she can be used. I do really like her, and sorry, Doug. I feel like Doug loves her, but I feel like she could be used sparingly. I don't really know that I want her to have a main role, but I don't know.
I'm fine with seeing her again later, just not 2 in a row. Just like.
I just want some bit of storyline from first season that we were set up for in the final episode. I'm just kind of getting a little impatient for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Jesse M. There's a new gaming channel. Just search for Jesse Mercury Gaming, and you'll find it. I just put out a video about how to ground pound cancel in Mario Maker 2. It's very informative. Well, Jane and Jenny, thank you both so much. We made it through our technical difficulties. The stream actually happened. I had a little bit of a panic right before we went live, but it's all good. So thank you both.
We overcame.
We did. This is the way. And yeah, we're going to keep doing this for the rest of the season, which is not that big of a commitment because it's probably only 8 episodes, but...
but we're here for it.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see you all in the chat next week. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. And that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.